Good morning. Welcome to Stampin' here on Facebook. I am a couple of minutes early because I've got impatient and can't be bothered to wait any longer. Normally these start at 11 AM on a Sunday morning. And my aim is to do them every single Sunday morning. Because I like consistency and I like you guys to know when I'm coming at you. So every Sunday morning at 11, I will be here. However, saying that, I wasn't here last week. Is that camera wobbling again? Oh, I haven't filmed anything for a couple of weeks because, as you may be aware, I wasn't here last week. And the reason I wasn't here last week was because I had a horrible cold and I'm just about over it. But it has taken me all week. I literally woke up on Saturday morning last week and went, no, I'm not feeling very well. I actually had to cancel my hair appointment, which I haven't actually rebooked yet. I need to do that because I need a haircut. So yeah, I apologise for not being here last week, but I just couldn't do it. There's just no way. So, the project I had planned for last week, I'm going to do this week instead. So, it's a Valentine's project, and it's really cute. Look at him. He's just adorable. So, I'm not going to waffle too long. I'm going to waffle a little bit. I'm going to tilt you on down though, because I've got some things to show you. So, let's turn you around and try not to make you dizzy. There we go. So, right, get you tightened up so you're not going to fall. Not completely confident about my arm camera mount today. So, today I have this gorgeous little project for you. Now, you may well recognise this, one, because I did post a sneaky peek of it yesterday, but also because it is actually in the Spring Summer catalogue. So, in our Spring Summer catalogue, and actually in all the catalogues, I'm going to show you them all in a minute, we have these You Can Make It projects. And I just thought this one was so cute that I wanted to show you how I've taken a little bit of a different spin on it. But I wanted to just kind of highlight these You Can Make It projects because I just think they are just lovely and they're great for a really quick and easy project. Because all you need to do, so to order, to make these, is order this one item. So we have a few of these. I'll show you this one. And they are in all three of our current catalogues. So both the Spring, Summer, the Annual, and in Sale-a-bration as well. You've got these You Can Make It. So to make the Hey Love Treat toppers, you need to add this item code into your basket. This will add all these products and will cost you £51.75. So you don't have to think about, oh, I need some cello bags. Oh, and I'll need an ink pad. Oh, and what colours of blends do I need for that? Don't have to worry about any of that because it's all here. Now, they are in the annual catalogue as well. I found one. So we've got this one, which is the waterfront cards, and these are just so cute. So you get, in this one, you get the waterfront stamp set, which is this one down here. So they're always kind of matched to the stamp set. You get a clear block, you get some Memories and More cards and envelopes, you get 2 ink pads and some of the Nature's Twine, and you get to make some really cute projects. Now, what's great is that there are also a couple of them in this Sale-a-bration catalogue. Now, so this one, which we've not quite called a You Can Make It, but this project uses a free item. So you've got these lovely Home to Roost cards with this really cute little cockerel on. And all you need to do is add the one item code, which will cost you that much, and it will add all these things automatically into your basket. Which I just think is it's just a really quick and easy way to go, I really like those cards, I want to make those cards, what do I need? I need those things. Yes, I'll have those. Great. So, I have done that with these lovely Hey Love Treat toppers. And if you add the You Can Make It code, so that specific code, you get this fabulous, you don't get one that's been made already, but you do get this bundle of products. So you get in here, you get a brand new Memento ink pad, some of the Night of Navy medium baker's twine, you get a clear block, you get the cello bags that are the right size, you get the Hey Love stamp set. I absolutely love this. I just think these critters are adorable, and I've made a couple of cards actually with this that have already been on my blog, so when I write this up later on, I'll try and remember to link them. You get 2 of the Stampin' Blends pens in light flirty flamingo and light smoky slate, and a pack of the Whisper White thick A4 card. Now, I've already busted into this one because I'd run out. Embarrassingly, I've run out of Whisper White altogether. Also dropped the Sale-a-bration catalogue on the floor. I actually had to put an order in yesterday because I realised I had no Whisper White at all. None. I don't know how that happens. I really don't. It does happen scarily often though. So that's what you get for the item code for the You Can Make It. But I've added a couple of extra bits that I think are really handy for this project. So if you look at the actual catalogue, they've just cut squares of cardstock. I'm not a big... I like a little bit more detail than that. So what I've done is I've used the Stitched Shapes Framelits dies, which are square, and cut a square out of the Whisper White with one of the Stitched Shapes squares. Now, in the Spring Summer catalogue, and what will arrive with me this week, is the rectangle version. So I will do another one of these, and I will show you the difference probably next week about what it looks like as a square and what it looks like as a rectangle. But I think that, you know, some stitched dies are really handy for this project. I also would recommend the tear and tape to stick your piece of Whisper White onto your cello bag. I've used some of the foam adhesive strips for my sentiment, and my absolute go-to tool at the moment, which is my Take a Pick. I love this thing, but it's great for getting the backing off that tear and tape. So I'm going to show... Oh, you also need some sweeties. That's the other thing you'll need. I grabbed these ones. Now, of course, Stampin' Up have made, you know, I've got lovely, nice red and pink ones for Valentine's. That was far too much effort for me. So I went into Lidl and I bought some jelly beans, which means that they're all different colours, but they're really cute and they're still very nice. So let's make a few of these up. Now what I've done is I've already gone ahead and I've pre-cut 5 of the stitched squares, because I thought as well what might be nice is if you see how I go about making things, like a lot of something. So I sat at a craft fair yesterday and it was a bit slow, this craft fair yesterday. We had lots of fun and the people there were lovely, but I think the weather put people off. So I had lots and lots of time. And I did all of my thank you cards for my January customers. So they'll be coming out to you as soon as the order comes in this week with your Code Club gifts in. They will be going out this week. And I sat there going, actually, the way I do kind of mass production, I think it'd be useful to show you. So what I've done is I've already pre-cut 5 of the squares, and it's not the biggest square. I think it's like the second biggest one. And I have got our lovely gorilla already on a block, and I'm gonna use the brand new pad. Oh, and I'm gonna need my Take a Pick because I'd forgotten it was in plastic. Oh. I have got one of these already opened, but it's actually, I've had it a very long time and it's just not, it's probably alright, it probably needs re-inking, but yeah. I have got a ringer for it actually as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out my squares, and I am going to open my ink pad, she says. Oh, it's tight, that one. There we go. And I'm going to ink up our lovely gorilla. Now, these are cling mount stamps. So, not last week, the week before, my Facebook Live was all about cling mount stamps. And I gave you some top tips on how to make sure that these cling mount stamps, for all they're very, very sticky, they can be a bit too sticky. And I have got a couple of really good tricks for stopping them getting stuck to things. And my piece of washi tape is on my stamp for that reason. So I can easily peel Mr. Gorilla off. So I'm going to just go through and I'm going to stamp him in the middle of each one of those squares. And I'm using Memento for a very good reason, because I am going to use Stampin' Blends with these. And Stampin' Blends are the Stampin' Up alcohol marker pen. They cost £4 each, or you can get them in 2 packs for £8. And the duo packs are great actually because you get a light and a dark version of the same colour. So let me just have a grab them. So I have got the light flirty flamingo and the light smoky slate, but I've also got the dark smoky slate. Now I'm not going to use it today, but if you bought the smoky slate duo pack, you'd get both of those. So you get a light one and a dark one. So you've got perfect blending going on there. So we're going to take our lovely gorilla and I'm going to move him out of the way. And each one of the Stampin' Blends has got two kind of pen ends. So you've got a bullet tipped end, I hope you can see that, which is denoted on the pen with a thin line, and then this thick line on this end is a brush tip. I will admit I don't ever use the brush tip, ever. But just because I prefer to use the bullet one. So, and you're never going to lose your pen lids unless you fling them across your desk, and because they do stack one on top of each other on the pen itself. So to colour Mr. Gorilla, what I did here was I went round all of his edges first with the smoky slate. So I'm literally going to go round, and I'm not kind of doing, this is not perfect colouring, perfect blending, because that's a lot of work that I have not got the time for. But this is one of those ways that I really enjoy colouring in this kind of image. And I just go around and highlight kind of, or put some ink where I'd get some shadow or on the edge of him. So sometimes you know there's a shadow there because you've got the crease of his arm. And then I'm going to go down his shoulders because they're going to curve. And then around here, and then I'm going to go down his belly because it's going to be darker at the bottom, underneath his arms and his knees, like that. Now, if I was just doing one, I would then continue to colour, but I'm not, because I'm doing them all. I'm going to do that for all of them, so I'm going to pick up the next one, and I'm going to go around again and do his head. And this is part of this is because I actually want this ink to dry. Normally, with blends, you only kind of colour a small section at once because you don't want the ink to dry completely, because you've got to blend that colour out. But I'm not going to blend the colour out today because I actually want this line. So I keep going and colouring around him. And I've got to admit, blends pens are they've found me. I wasn't a massive fan when they first came out, and I know that's probably shouldn't admit that, should I? But colouring's just not something, I love watercolouring, and I love getting messy like that, but I kind of colouring with a pen, not really my style. But I sat yesterday with that lovely So Hoppy Together stamp, which is the Sale-a-bration one with the frogs. And I coloured that frog for about 3 hours. The scrap fair, that's how slow the scrap fair was. And so every customer that shopped with me last month has got a blends coloured card this month because I had loads of time to do them. So that's a good thing about a slow craft fair, that you've still, you've got time to get on with everything else. So I think we'll probably just do 3. So I'll move the 2 out of the way. So we've now got our lovely little gorilla that's coloured in a little bit. So now we're going to take the same pen and we're going to colour in circles over that where I've already coloured. I'm going to bring that ink down and kind of colour him in completely. Now, I'm rough colouring. I'm not doing fancy anything really. I'm literally just colouring him in. So, but the reason I do circles is because it means you don't get those harsh lines when you've finished. So let's just very quickly colour him in. I'm going to go back over his belly again. And I'm going over lines. I'm not worrying about anything really. I just want him coloured. And you get him, and he's just adorable. So I'm going to leave him to dry. We'll do the next one. Like so. Let's go around his face. And we're, like I said, we're doing those nice little circular motions with the pen because we don't want those harsh lines. If I did kind of scribbly lines, I would get scribbly lines in the colouring. But if I'm doing circles, that doesn't happen. His foot, do his leg. And this is, I mean, this is so therapeutic as well. I actually could sit and colour him in all day long. Got so much pleasure out of colouring yesterday, honestly. It was completely eye-opening because it's just not something I do very often. But yeah, repeat stamping of a frog that I then coloured in. I will show you them, but I'm not going to show you them today because I know they haven't arrived with customers yet. But I will show you them probably next week. And there will be a specific blog post for those. Every single time somebody shops with me, I aim to get an email out to you to say thank you pretty quickly. Usually it takes, it can take up to 48 hours for me to get around to doing that, I've got to admit. But then everybody gets a thank you card at the end of the month. And if you use my club code, which is, if you're watching on Facebook, is in the description at the top. If you use that code at checkout, you get goodies as well. So you will get this month, no, I'm not going to tell you what I sent this month, because I haven't sent them yet. But there's always, it's usually some kind of embellishment that you get from me. So we've now got 3 lovely gorillas coloured in. And at this point we can add a little bit of extra detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just colour in his belly, because we hadn't done that already. And his little hands. I'm not going to colour his face at all. But we can then go over and add kind of extra shadows in where there would be shadow. So those creases of his arms and the tops of his legs and that bottom of his belly, we can go over that again. So I'm going to colour this guy's belly in. And his little hands. And then we'll go over his belly again, and we're going to just pick up his shadows. He's just so cute. And our 3rd fella. I feel like this guy should have some sort of a name. Don't know what to call him though. Mr. Gorilla. Not very imaginative, are we? At the minute, I've got too many names going around in my head. I'm trying to think of baby names at the moment, and that's not going overly well either. Oh, the pressure! Honestly, I'm worried about giving this baby a name because it's that, you know, that's what's going to get called for the rest of its life. My mum told my mum this, and she went, "Don't be so stupid. It can always change its name." I went, "Well, no, that's not allowed, actually." It would still be whatever it's going to, you know, it's going to get christened whatever name it gets. So then we're going to take our Floaty Flamingo pen and we're going to take that bullet end again, and we're going to colour the heart in that Floaty Flamingo. And we're not doing any special colouring here at all. We're literally just laying the colour on. So. And he colours up pretty quickly. I mean, I've been waffling at you for 20 minutes, and I've got. So it's probably taken us 10 minutes to colour these 3 fellas in, and we've got a little bit of rose on his cheeks as well. But he's just adorable. Look at him. Right, love that. Absolutely love that. So we've then got our 3 gorillas. I then want to take a piece of Whisper White again, which I have, of course, lost on my desk, which is the scrap piece of me cutting things out. And I've got the Hey Valentine's sentiment, which I'm going to stamp in the Memento black ink again. And the reason I'm going to use Memento this time is because that's what I've used on the gorilla, so the blacks match, because that's one of those things that call him Paul. I like that. Yeah, we have Paul the gorilla. Thanks, Tina. We'll call him Paul. Where's my scissors gone? Paul the gorilla. Yes, brain isn't working at all today. So we've got, I've used Memento black ink to stamp the sentiment, because that's what I used to stamp the gorilla in, Paul the gorilla. If I used a different black ink, it wouldn't necessarily be the same colour, and it wouldn't match, and those little things drive me to distraction. So I'm going to hand cut out these sentiments, partly for speed and partly because they're quite little and it's fine. So, hey Valentine, 3 times. I'm going to trim this one up a little bit. And this is one of those things I really do quite often, is just hand cut out a sentiment, because it's just quick. Right, then I want to put on the back of these sentiments, I want to use some of the foam adhesive strips. So let's just trim them off. And so we've got one for Paul number 1. One for Paul number 2, and one for Paul number 3. Now, the bit that I should have done before I started, but didn't, of course, because that would be organised, is fill the cello bags with the jelly beans. But of course I didn't do that, did I? Because that would have made sense. These are not the easiest things to get in these bags. These are lovely little, they're 5.1 by 20.3 centimetres, so 2 inches by 8 inches. Obviously you can't really see them very well because they're completely clear. They are open at one end, so they're not a tube, they are a little bag. And we sell these in a variety of different sizes. There was this kind of card size cello bags, and we did have some bottle sized ones at one point. I don't know if we still do. I'll have to have a look. So, excuse my fingers. These are going to like people I know, so I'm not too worried about the fact that I've handled the jelly beans. If you were selling these for a craft fair or something like that, you'd be more careful. But these would make a really cute little craft fair project, wouldn't they? Or little valentines to send to school, or something like that. They'd be lovely. So there's one. Each one is getting a handful of beans. My husband is looking forward, I think, to these being finished so that he can eat the rest of the jelly beans. Because I did buy 2 bags. I don't need 2 bags worth. Absolutely not. So, let's pop those in there. They are, it's worth mentioning as well that all these Stampin' Up cello bags are food safe, as are the sweet treat cups, I believe, are, and the mini pizza boxes are. Anything that's kind of if you buy it as a thing, so like you buy the pizza boxes, they are. If you made pizza boxes out of cardstock, that wouldn't be. But all of the other stuff is food safe. So let's just, last ones. I can't now get the bag open, of course. Right. Oh, while I'm talking about this, while I'm doing this, while I'm thinking about it, the booking for February card class is now open. So if you want to join in with that, all the details are available over on my blog. And there are 3 different kit options this time. So if you want to do it in person or online, you've got both of those options available. But you've also got 3 kits. So there's a taster kit, which is just cardstock. There is the class kit, which includes all the cards that you need, plus the stamp set, and a couple of bits to take home. And then there is I'm calling the gold kit, which has everything for the project in, so you can make even more of them when you get home. So I've taken my cardigan off. I'm going to put it back on again because I've gone cold. I can't keep my temperature today. I think this is why I'm still not very well, because I still can't maintain the temperature at all. So I'm going to fold over the tops of our bags. I'm going to just fold them over, and I'm going to put a staple in them because that's just the easiest way for me to keep them shut. You could tape them, and that would work just as well. I like staples for speed. Now then, once we've done that, I'm then going to take a bone folder, and I'm going to run my bone folder along the edge. Okay, so you've got a really crisp finish. So that's one that's not had the bone folder over it, and that one has. You can see that actually it does make quite a bit of a difference. So there. Right, so we've got our 3 bags of sweets, and we've got our 3 Paul the Gorillas. What I'm going to do is turn them all over, and I'm going to grab my tear and tape, and I'm going to put some pieces of tear and tape at the top and at the bottom of each one of those Pauls. I'm going to call him Paul now. We'll blame Tina for the fact that he's now called Paul, our lovely gorilla friend. He does look like a Paul though, doesn't he? I almost called him Gavin for some reason. I think he looks quite a lot like a Gavin as well. Not that Gavin has to look a specific way either. What does Gavin look like? That's really funny. It's a stupid thing to say, isn't it? Never mind. So now tear and tape has carrier tape on the bottom of it, and if you've got fingernails and you're one of those people, you can just peel it off. That's great. I can never seem to do it, so I've got my pick tool on my take a pick, and I use this to get that tape off, and then we leave the adhesive underneath. So then we can take our Paul the Gorilla and stick him onto a bag. Now I have left like a little bit of the cello bag sticking out the top, just because I like that look. You don't have to. You could put him right at the top if that's what you wanted. Now this is another point where I've changed up the design a little bit. So Stampin' Up have used rectangular pieces of cardstock, and I've die cut squares. They've also not done their sentiment is therefore on the same sheet of cardstock that Paul's on, rather than with extra dimension. But also they've put their piece of baker's twine a bit higher up. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna just pop our pieces of our sentiment strips on. And then you get to watch me, the bow-challenged woman, attempt to tie bows on camera. I can promise you this is not going to go very well. So, rather than opening a new one of those, I have got one open already. Which of course I've left over the side of the room. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our length of twine, take it underneath, and then I always move the reel over to the left, but that's just the easiest way for me to tie it. I think it's probably just me being peculiar. Tie a knot in your twine, and then you can make your little loops. And then you've got plenty of room to kind of play with your bow a little bit. Well, that's not too bad, is it? I've tied worse. Right, let's do another one. So, I'm going to take our length of twine behind Paul and over the top. I'm going to move this over here because that just is the way my brain works. I can't help it. My brain doesn't work particularly well at the moment. I have full-blown baby brain going on. Can't remember my name half the time. My husband thinks I've gone completely mad, which he should know already that I already am completely mad. It shouldn't make a lot of difference. But apparently it has. Yeah. We've actually started decorating the nursery this week as well. So there's just like, my head is completely full of baby stuff. And I think that's probably what baby brain is. You're just too busy thinking about everything else to be thinking about whatever you're supposed to be thinking about, like work or bills or whatever it is. Baby, brain's on baby already. So, last one. Oh. The other thing I do sometimes is I'll tie the bow higher up and then move it down once I've tied it. That sometimes helps as well. So just ever so quick, cute little, adorable little Valentine's projects. Aren't they lovely? And all of that from that one You Can Make It in the catalogue. So this is that's what Stampin' Up think they should look like. I don't think that's too bad a take. Do you? So that is my project for this week. I've been talking at you for half an hour. I don't think that's too bad. We've made 3 cute little Paul the Gorilla sweetie bags. I'm going to go off and eat a load of jelly beans now. So before I go, let me just give you a couple of quick reminders. So we've done the You Can Make It's. February card class booking is open. I would love you to join me, either in person or online. There are 3 kit options. What I will do is when I write the blog post up in about half an hour, I will put all the details on there and where you can book and all the rest of it. And then don't forget to use the current Code Club code. Now, I use a different Code Club code every month. They run the 28th to the 28th of every month. So the current one started on the 28th of January. It will run out on the 20th of February. And it is TPQFE3EA. That is always available if you're on Facebook, in the description bar. If you're on YouTube, click over to my blog and it is in the sidebar. Always there. And actually, there is a Code Club page on my blog as well. It's always on there. You put that into the hostess code box as you check out in my online shop. You put that in there. If you're spending over £150, don't put that in, but you will still get a gift. But if you spend £150, you'll get your own stamping rewards, and I don't want you to lose those. So, that is it. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Short and sweet, hopefully, although it has been 30 minutes, with lovely Paul the Gorilla. And I will see you again next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.